Hey guys, Connor from Rock Pokemon here. So stoked to bring you guys this video. This is going to be my first CGC return video. So what we have here is actually 2 submissions that I sent to my middleman. Shout out Kanto Shark for all your grading middleman services and display cases. Definitely hit him up. So Jared over at Kanto Shark, he's the man. So thank you so much for everything through this process. But I'm hoping this is gonna be the first of many awesome videos for you guys. I have a bunch more cards out at the various grading companies. So basically how this went down is in January, right at the beginning of January, and then more in the middle to later part of January, sent 2 submissions to Kanto Shark to send to the various grading companies. So my first submission, I sent 7 of these 8 modern cards to get graded by CGC, kind of because I was feeling them out, trying to understand their value prop a little better. And then I had a handful of vintage that I sent to Beckett. So we'll see if those ever come back. And then later in January, had a bunch of Japanese vintage, as well as 1 modern card that I sent as well for CGC, and then another handful that went to Beckett. So starting to tier myself out. I have additional submissions that went in February and March and April and May and June. So this is just the beginning, and they all came back together from those first 2. So super excited to show you guys this. I figured how I would break this down for you is just do this video for you guys to enjoy, see all the grades, and then in a subsequent Market Monday, I will kind of go through the, my spreadsheet, the economics behind grading. Was it a good choice? Was it not? What I plan to do, why I did it, all those things that really I think will be insightful for you. But today, I want you guys to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the grades with me. So we're gonna start left to right with some Shiny Star V. So stuff I opened in December around Christmas time, set that I really loved. So let's get it rocking, guys. All right, so as you can see, we have the modern back. So flip that around. And we have the Ssr Ditto. This was actually pulled for me by OG Retro on one of his live streams. Gosh, middle of last December now, around December 15th. So amazing card. I actually really love Ditto. I think he's a great Pokemon. I think he has a ton of really great cards and arts. Really stoked to have this one in my collection. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys what I had as a grade guess. For these modern, I really just sent them in with a overarching grade guess, because I wanted to kind of feel out how they were grading modern with all these, interesting surface textures and all, the centering on some of the full arts and all these things. So for these, I just guessed an overarching grade. And then for the rest of my vintage, I did guess all the subgrades as well. So we'll walk through that. So hang in, this is gonna be a fun one. And we're starting off with a banger. I thought this would probably come back a 9 based on my pre-grading, and got the 9.5. So 9 on centering, 9.5 on surface, which is fairly high for CGC, and we'll talk about that as we go through this this grading reveal video. But basically almost had quad 9.5s, got the 9 on centering. So if you take a look, you can see that I think that left side's a little thicker, and probably looks like the top to bottom, maybe it's a little high. And then I think it's more noticeable on the back. Yeah, you can definitely see this side is thinner over here. So amazing card, Shiny Star V Ditto V. Absolutely love this. So stoked to have this in my collection. So it's number 1. Next one, another Shiny V. We have the Ssr Crobat. So Crobat VMAX. had this one down as a 9.5 and boom, 9.5. So just like the Ditto V, almost hit those quads, 9.5s, got dinged on the surface. You know, I think that's really hard to tell with these full arts. It's super difficult unless it's driving from the back mainly, but pretty strict with my pre-grading, but did think this would get the 9.5, and we did get the 9.5. So 2 SSRs, beautiful 9.5s. This one came back even better than I thought. So pretty stoked. Pulled this one myself, I think at Christmas. So then what we have here is 6 amazing rares. So I love the amazing rares. Think they're awesome. So we've got Kyogre first. We've got 3 of those. The first 2 were my first submission. I guessed one of them would be a 9.5 and one would be a 9. Can't remember which one is which now. Oh, nope. Forgot about one, guys. Sorry. Dragapult. Totally forgot about this guy. So the Shiny V Dragapult, yes. So here's an example of a card that I thought, again, overarching grade, I was like, yep, 9.5, gonna be great. Boom, actually got the 9 on this one. So 2 9s and 2 9.5s. So our centering only got a 9. Again, we can see that it is a touch off. I think on the back it's easier to see here how much thinner this right-hand side is. And then on the surface, again, really hard to tell with these textured cards. But yeah, this is one card of not many, and I will reveal later how many it was. One of few cards in this submission that actually did worse than my pre-grading. So I thought this would get a 9.5, ended up getting the 9. Still a really cool card. I think these just absolutely pop with this textured shiny surface. So really loved this set. Was super fun. So let's get on to those amazing rares. So Kyogre, we got 3 of these guys. So I'm just gonna pull them all up here for you guys. And let's get that one. Oh, 2 Kyogres. Jeez, guys, can't even remember what the heck I sent in. So 2 Kyogres, 2 amazing rares. I guess one would be a 9.5 and one would be a 9. As you can see, fairly similar characteristics. Beautiful with that rainbow texture behind him. I love this card. I think it's fantastic. And both of these got the 9.5, guys. Absolutely stunning cards. Really love these amazing rares, like I said. You can see that the difference here is that the corners on this guy got a 10, so slightly better subgrades. Really love having the subgrades on all these because it tells a great story, I think. So if we take a look, you know, centering, again, 9 on these. I think you can see some of that more from the back. Again, this right side with the thin border there really gives you a look at why the centering is lower. Nonetheless, absolutely beautiful. The way the hollow is inside of his like fin or hand there, I mean, that's just so cool. Then looking at this one, so difference is corners. So maybe, you know, maybe we can tell with this, there's a little bit of white up in that corner there. If you guys can see that. They got that the 9.5 versus this corner getting a 10. So overall, super stoked on those. Super stoked. So then we have 3 of the Yveltal. Always mispronounce that one, but also think this is a really amazing rare. Really do love this card, guys. So we'll what we'll do is we'll show all 3 of these again, like so. So here's number 1 for y'all. Here is number 2 for y'all. Take a look. And here is number 3 for y'all. And what I want you guys to do now is throw down in the comments what you think each of these got. Don't cheat and look up the certification number, that if you can see that, but throw in the comments below, what did these get? I pre-graded 2 of them as 9s. No, 2 of them is 9.5s. One of them that I put in my second submission, which is this one, because it has the later cert number, I actually had that as a quad 9.5, and the other 2 I had just guessed 1 and 9, 1 and 9.5. Not sure which one is which, but let's reveal the first 2 from my initial submission. So again, I thought of these 2, one would be a 9 and one would be a 9.5. So 9.5 on the first one, and actually this is a fantastic grade, a fantastic card. 1/2 point away from getting a pristine 10, which would have been absolutely incredible. That involves having 3 10s out of the 4 subgrades. So, you know, as you can see, fairly flawless card. Centering and edges got the 1/2 points off. You can see a little bit that centering off on the back, which contributed to that. But an absolutely, I mean, just such a powerful group of subgrades. Absolutely fantastic cards. So pleased with that. So, and the next one, and again, out of these 2, I thought one would get a 9, one would get a 9.5. We pulled the other 9.5, guys. And again, the surface and the corners with 10s. This one got slightly worse on the centering, a 9 instead of a 9.5. I do remember that because when I was comparing these side by side, that's why I had one as a 9 and one as a 9.5. You can see this left border is thicker than the right border for sure, versus this one where those 2 borders are much, much closer. And so when I was originally sending to CGC, I was very, very worried about centering, very preoccupied by the need for centering to be pristine, because I felt like with their AI portion of their grading, because so much of that was done at a, you know, computer measurement level instead of the naked eye, that centering was going to be an easy one to get docked on, because it's just math. It's just the measurements of one side versus the other. It's not subjective at all. It's completely objective and, you know, mathematical via a computer, basically measuring down to the pixel each side potentially. So still a great card all in all. Just think that artwork is so sick. These amazing rares are just, they're some of the best cards in Modern right now, honestly. I think I absolutely love these. You know, I love them more than like the rainbow rares and stuff for sure. The way it bleeds out of there and it has that texture, they're so sick. And then guys, the last one, which I did pre-grade as having quad 9.5s. Let's see what we got on the last Yveltal Shiny Star V Amazing Rare. Boom. So we were a little bit off on our pre-grading in that corners actually did better than expected and centering did a 1/2 point worse. And you can tell when you look at this card now that the left side here is a little bit thinner. So that definitely does deserve that 9. That's a miss on my part, but still got the 9.5, did do even better on corners than expected. Amazing group of cards. So that's my Modern for you guys. Just gonna take a quick sip break. And we're gonna hop in to some Vintage. So, like I said, Modern, this was all pulled by me or by friends in December from Shiny Star V, a set that I just enjoyed so much. I honestly thought it was better than Shining Fates. The quality was excellent. The pulls were great. Really enjoyed it. The next group of cards here is a Neo Premium file. So I'll grab this and show you guys. So In Japan, they came out with these Neo files that basically it was a folder that was a promo where you could have 9 cards, and they were released in conjunction with the various Neo sets. So this one was released with Neo 3 or Neo Revelation. So you got the opportunity to see Raikou and Entei and Suicune on the back, some really cool artworks. And there were 9 cards in here. It came sealed. You'll see those sealed out in the wild still. Something I'd like to have in my collection someday, but haven't pulled the trigger on yet. Just think there's a lot of it out there. So this was a local pickup, a Facebook marketplace deal. And effectively, guys, from the whole lot that I purchased on Facebook Marketplace when I bought these cards in January early January of 2021 was like $35 or $40. I think it was $40, and I've extracted far more value out of those cards, both by selling some of the ones I picked up, and then as you'll see with these grades. So effectively, what we have is the card cost was basically free at this point. So that's pretty cool. It was an open file, just something in some kid, his collection. He had a lot of old Japanese Pokemon cards from, I think it was something like his grandma lived in Hawaii or something, so got a lot of them. But yeah, basically just raw cards in that promo binder, but opened, so they had been played and handled. So when I saw them, I was intrigued with how strong the quality was. And to give you guys a sense, I pre-graded them all between 8.5 and 9. And there is one holographic card in this promo set. So unlike some of the other promos that had multiple holos, I believe this one just had one. So yeah, because I think that there's the Charizard Pichu one with the reverse holos, but let's get it kicking. So first and foremost, we have good old Ho-Oh. Just a beautiful, iconic artwork. Love this one. Really great Kasube artwork. I had pre-graded this a 9, largely driven by the centering being an 8.5 when I guessed. So boom, got the 9 as expected, but a little different than what we thought. Actually got the 9 on the centering, despite this border being maybe a little thinner, but we got an 8.5 on surface. And what you guys are gonna find throughout, thematically throughout this reveal is that we got fairly low grades on our surface subgrades. So I think that, when I was first submitting to CGC, I was so worried about centering, and I was so conservative, both on my overall grades, because I'm harsh, but also specifically on centering. And I ended up doing a lot better on centering than I thought, and a lot worse on surface. So, it's expected. These cards were loose. They were in the binder, just flopping around in there. Who knows how many times they were taken in and out. So especially the backs on a lot of these cards just have lots of surface scratches and things like that, which is totally understandable. But they look pretty beautiful from the front. So really stoked with the 9 on a vintage card like this. Very exciting to see that. So moving on, we have the Skarmory. So what you have here is 3 birds, 3 dogs, and then kind of 3 randos. So you've got the Skarmory now, and as you can see, you've got Ho-Oh's wing is in this artwork. So the artworks are all connected, kind of like Southern Islands, foreshadowing what might be coming next. So on Skarmory, I thought we'd hit an 8.5. We got a 9, guys. We got a 9. So very, very, identical subgrades, very similar card quality. Again, the surface being what dragged this down. I thought that actually 3 out of the 4 subgrades would be an 8.5. So this was a pleasant surprise. Very happy with the way that this guy turned out. So cool card, really cool card. I like the I like Kasube's art style. It almost looks like kind of colored pencil style. So the colors are really nice. So the next one we have here. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 birds. No, yeah, 2 birds. What am I missing? Oh, I saved the other bird for the end. Save the other bird for the end. That's what I thought. So, first of the dogs, we have Suicune. Suicune I thought would get an 8.5 largely because I felt that the edges were super poor. And we actually got the 8.5 as expected, but it was largely, again, from surface. So the 9s on centering and corners. I had that. I had 9.5 on surface, which was wildly wrong. And I had an 8 on edges, which wasn't far off. So that surface, probably driving from the back here. I think if I look carefully, there are some scratching. I think I saw it earlier. Oh, yeah. Forgive me, guys, just trying to take a look here. But, you know, all in all, still a beautiful card. I love the way the blue complements that blue label. So, but yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, there it is. There's a fairly, let me see if I can get it in the light, but there's some fairly big surface scratches on the back of this that definitely detracted from it. So, still a great card, 8.5 on the Suicune. All right. So then second dog, we got Entei. So Entei, I had an 8.5 largely because I thought that centering and corners were both going to get 8.5s. Edges maybe squeak out that 9. So again, fantastic card. You can tell the artworks, this one has a dark background, but they're connected. They look like the back of the folder. And this one actually got the 9, guys, so super stoked about that. Again, surface, 8.5 on the surface. So we got almost quad 9s with 8.5 on surface. So I was, again, pretty conservative on what I thought. You know, got 9 on centering despite, I mean, look, that border versus that border felt like that would really be a deterrent. But the Kimura artwork is just fantastic. And again, I think there's definitely some back scratching on this for sure. So now I know, you know, as I pre-grade going forward, to be really more diligent on the surface, which I think, you know, to the naked eye is one of the hardest things to vet. So, but, you know, overall with my overarching grades, I was definitely conservative, which I think has gone well so far. So, next one here is good old Raikou. Really like this card. Really like this. As you can see, it's got that cool connected background, this like kind of castle looking thing back here. It's really like, I think it steps up to a ruins of a temple, perhaps, I forget. But on the Raikou, I had a 9, and we did indeed get the 9. Again, thought that centering would be an 8.5, but we ended up with a 9 and got dinged on the surface. So this is actually a pretty strong card when you look at it, all things said and done. I did have 2 9s, a 9.5 and an 8.5. I just didn't have them in the right order, but got the 9 like I had projected. So pretty stoked on that. So we've got 4 more here. We have the first of the 3 randos, the Sudowoodo. So Sudowoodo I thought would get a 9. And I will tell you guys, this is the second card that actually did worse than expected. I projected this would get a 9, and we got an 8.5, guys. So if you look at kind of these side by side, you can see that corners dropping to an 8.5 despite the 9.5 brings it down to an 8.5. So taking a look at that, where I fell short is that I had surface too high, and I also had corners too high. I had edges lower, but the surface and corners getting that 8.5 didn't do us any favors here. If we take a closer look, you can definitely see that there's some whitening on that corner for sure. And then what else do we see? There's a little bit of chipping on that corner over there. So definitely deserve it of that 8.5 on the corners and the 8.5 overall. Kind of a neat card though, you know, interesting little artwork. So good one for sure. Next we have the other of the randos, probably one of my favorites here actually, just because of the dark complexion, is the Sneasel. So Sneasel, I had it a 9. Again, you can see these connect as far as the art and color scheme. Again, by the same artist, Kazuki. And got the 9 on Sneasel. So came pretty close to hitting that one on the head. We did do better on centering and a little worse on surface. And, you know, got a nice bump from corners and edges. So super stoked on that. Nothing like getting a 9 on a vintage card. I mean, it's really amazing when you think about these, you know, 20-plus-year-old cards floating around in an open binder. Pretty amazing. So, got 2 more here. Okay, so we got the third legendary bird, everyone's favorite, the Neo Genesis Heartbreaker. We got Lugia. So, love the purple. You can see Ho-Oh's wings up there, or feathers. But, again, huge fan of this art style by Kasube. Love the purple background. Lugia, I did think would get an 8.5, largely driven by some of the edging on it, as well as the centering and the corners. And we did get the 8.5. So where we really got hurt here though is the surface, you know. So again, if we take a look at it, you know, that centering was actually not as bad as projected. Corners and edges we did okay, but just that surface really became an issue. If you look at it in the right light, I think there is a mark of some kind on the back that I noted. And just some you know, scratching on the back. There's a scratch in the middle there. So definitely you know, something to keep an eye out for. Sometimes it's hard because there's like, you guys can see there's like that chipping at the top there, but we got a 9 on edges. So it's like, is that really surface? Because, you know, it's the edge, but it comes down into the surface. You know, sometimes it's hard to say, but I think deserving of the 8.5, not a 9 in my book, and did come out to be that 8.5. So hit that one. And then last but not least, we have the holo of the promo. We have everybody's favorite onion boy, the Celebi. So very neat artwork, Kazuki artwork that goes with the Sneasel and the Sudowoodo. Really neat kind of swirly figure 8 here. Really beautiful holo. Again, guys, unsleeved in a promo binder. When I saw this card and I started looking at it, I honestly thought it was gonna pull the 9. I really did. I thought that everything was strong except for the centering. You can see that this left border is definitely fatter than that right. But I felt like everything else was pretty strong, and I thought it was gonna get the 9. And it got the 9, guys. Look at that. I mean, just unbelievable. A vintage holo just sitting in a binder. You got a swirl behind his arm there. You got this cool like figure 8 thing over here. I mean, just a gorgeous card. Absolutely so neat. And yeah, again, biggest deterrent was that surface. So got really hammered on the surface on these cards. So difficult to pre-grade surface, in my opinion, you know, without using jeweler's loop and, you know, some high intensity lights. But yeah, there might be some marks there and some wear that definitely drove that. But the holo looks good. There's no no print lines that I can see. I actually do my grading on the other side of the room where the lighting's actually even better, but that holo looks good. It's Japanese. There's never any print lines. Come on, guys. So really stoked on that. Got the 9 for the holo of the Neophile. So those 9 make up just an amazing set together. So really stoked on that. Really cool just to pick up that loose locally and come out with a big win there. So, you know, we got 8.5s and 9s across the board, and only one of them did worse than I thought, and I got a little aggressive with that 9 grade, and it came back the 8.5. So now for the piece de resistance, just one of the best sets in all of Pokemon, guys. I mean, I can't say enough about this set. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that it's 18 cards, highly achievable, so many ways to collect it, whether it's sealed in the binder on the English side, sealed in the 3-piece sets on the Japanese side, or also in the 9-card binders on the Japanese side. Much more rare than the 3-piece postcard sealed, you know, kind of cardboard things. But it's Southern Islands, guys. So we're gonna rip through the non-holos first, and then we're gonna take a look at our 6 holos. So 18 cards, 6 different 3-card sets. Each 3-card set has a holo and 2 non-holos. And when I say holo, it's not a normal holo, it's a reverse holo. So the backdrop of the artwork is not what's holographic, it's actually the rest of the cards. So very prone to scratching, very hard to get high grades on them. Coming out of those three pack kind of cardboard postcard promos, they can be scratched, so very difficult. But again, one of my just absolute favorite sets, guys. So really excited to show this to you guys. So I'm just gonna move my spreadsheet up a little bit so I can talk more to the grades. And yeah, I think without further ado, here we go. I appreciate you guys hanging in with me. I bought this set raw, just off of eBay, you know, just scouring for the set. Didn't want to open a sealed one, wanted to find the raw cards in as mint condition as possible and see if I could put together a set for myself of graded 9. So that's always the goal for me, was to have a complete 9 set. When I did receive these cards, there was a little worse wear than I thought on some of them. So to give you guys a heads up, I had a handful of 9s, a handful of 8.5s, and 4 of them at 8. So I had 4 of them at 8. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of them at 8.5, and the rest of them at 9s. The other 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so 6, 8, and 4 at 8. Yep. So, and that being, I had 4 of the holos at an 8 and 2 of them at an 8.5. So to give you guys frame of reference, we're gonna go through the non-holos, like I said, first. That's gonna be 12 cards, of which I had half of them as 9s and half of them as 8.5. So let's dive in with good old Pidgeot. Just an amazing card. These cards connect, so each 3-piece set has artworks that connect. There's always Pokemon in the background. Look at that little Venonat back there on top of Onyx. So sweet. Thought this would get the 8.5. We got the 9, guys. Got the 9. Actually really strong subgrade, so I was really worried about the centering on this card because it is, slightly to the left there, thin on this side, but we got the 9. So really, really stoked to see that on a vintage card, even a common, and even got a 9 on surface, which is, as you'll see, has been very tough for us to get. Next up, we have Onyx, so connected in that artwork. Another beautiful card. You got the little Dragonite up there in the rainbow. I mean, just amazing. You can see how like the artworks blend into each other. So there's the Venonat. It's also there. There's the wing that comes across in his head. So cool. Got the 9. So thought it would be a 9. We got the 9. I was worried about centering. Again, got the 9 on centering. Even got a 9 on surface. 1 away from a 9.5, so super strong. Again, very excited about this card and this set. Gosh, guys, I can't say it enough. I just love looking at these Southern Islands. Next one, we got fan favorite, Ivysaur. Thought Ivysaur would get the 8.5. Largely was worried about centering and centering largely. Centering and corners. And we got the 9. So again, strong with the, same subgrades. 9.9, 9.5, 9.5. And on this one, it was 9.9, 9.5, 9. So super stoked to have that. The centering is definitely off, but enough for them to give it a 9, I guess. I guess left to right is only one of the, you got left to right here, you got top to bottom here, and then you got left to right on the back, top to bottom. So if you get enough pickup from the rest, you do just fine. So I actually had that centering as an 8 and got the 9, so pulled this thing up to a 9. Very exciting. So next one is Raticate. Raticate I had as an 8.5. Again, centering in corners, largely because there was some chipping on some of these in the corner. Not on all of them, but on a few, so I was worried about that. So let's look at Raticate. I mean, look, you got a piece of your Ivy there. You can see that in the Ivy, it's he's on the edge there. You got Togepi on the other side. Here, you got the Slowpoke in the background as well, and that cool rainbow-colored tree with the Fukuyama artwork. Got the 9, guys. I mean, just again, coming in much stronger with that 9 centering, that 9.9, 9.5, 9.5. Super stoked on that. Again, to be hitting these 9s on these commons is just, or these non-hollows, is amazing. Love the touch of the Southern Islands logo there. Oh, I can't get enough of these cards, guys. Appreciate you hanging in here with me. Hope you're enjoying it. Next one, another fan favorite, Jigglypuff. Everyone's favorite singing Pokemon. You got the, Weeping Bell or Victory Bell, I always forget. Doduo's back there. I mean, just look at the freaking background, guys. It's crazy. It's so dope. I actually really love the colorless energy or the gray cards a lot, like Snorlax especially. Had an 8.5 on this, pulled the 9. Not the same subgrades, got a 9 over here, but 9+ across the board. Fantastic grading for that card. Again, came in higher on the centering than I thought. So what I did was, for a card like this, I had 8.5 and 9s across the rest, but I was still conservative and thought it might get an 8.5 because I wasn't totally confident on my ability to hit every subgrade, but hit that overall, overall grade at a conservative 8.5 and came in at the 9. So really stoked. Would much rather be conservative. There's no sense fooling yourself, guys. It is very hard to get high grades on vintage cards. It just is. They're 20 to 25 years old. It's very difficult. Very, very excited here. So another fan favorite, Butterfree. So see that the back looks pretty nice. Again, another amazing artwork. Venomoth over here. Just super colorful. Look at the Mankey down there. It almost like blends in. Do you guys see that? I mean, it's just so neat. So neat. It's just gathering flowers. I had Butterfree again at an 8.5, largely because I had edges at an 8. Totally missed that. We got the 9, but we did get an 8.5 on surface. So again, I was overconfident on my surface subgrade, but my overall grade came in higher than expected. So very stoked on that. I love looking at these cards, guys. I hope you're enjoying it because they're just beautiful. Next one, we have Tentacruel. So Tentacruel, getting into the water scene. Dragonite in the background. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at that. Just that freaking beautiful Dragonite there. Such a cool card. Tentacruel I did have at the 9. I thought, you know, centering and corners might be an issue. Boom. Corners was an issue, but centering got the 9. This one is close. If centering had been, you know, down to an 8.5, I think that might have pulled it down to an 8.5. I'd have to double check. But again, felt like, you know, centering with this fat bottom might get the, might even get a 8, but I think I pre-graded as an 8.5. But was able to pull that off. But I did know the corners would get an 8.5, and that's because I think, is it down there? Where is that? There were chippings somewhere, I felt like, on this card. It's hard to remember, guys. Oh, there it was. Yeah, if you see down there, there's some white down there. So thought that might bring it down, and it indeed did. But still really stoked. Hit that 9. So 9 so far on all of the non-hollows. The next one is my favorite non-hollow in the entire set. And that is our boy, or gal, Lapras. Again, beautiful water Pokemon. Got the Dratini back there, just swimming with it. So cool. This one I felt was one of the strongest of the bunch. Felt like it was a 9 with either 9 or 9.5 on all the subgrades. And indeed, we did get that 9. It wasn't in the exact order I thought. Centering, I had it at a 9. Surface, I had it at a 9.5. Corners at a 9. And edges at a 9.5. So I guess I just flipped centering and surface. So again, a little lower on surface than I thought. A little better on centering than I thought. This is probably one of my favorite cards in the entire set. Not even just the commons. I absolutely love it. I don't know why. It just speaks to me, guys. I love that Lapras. Said this before. Be really cool to have one of these in real life. You just dock that thing on Canandaigua Lake up here in upstate New York and take it out for a ride whenever you like. So we have a few more commons. Executor is this next one. I had this at a 9 as well. Another great artwork. You know, instead of featuring another Pokemon in the background, they just put 2 of them in here. You know, why not? So I had this guy 9.5 on 3 of the grades, but an 8.5 on centering. Off there, but got the 9. So overall, I had him at a 9. We got the 9. Very stoked on that. Again, surface lower than expected. Other things, especially centering, higher than expected. So, you know, maybe that'll be helpful for you guys. Realize that surface is seems to be, at least for me, was a fundamental component of my grading that I need to get better at. So that's what's really cool about this, is that having all the data of the pre-grading is an awesome learning experience for me to get better at doing this going forward. So, but stoked to get that 9. All subgrades above a 9, very cool. So next one we have is, oh, here's a great one, Wartortle. So I love that Wartortle and Ivysaur are in this set. So you got the horsey spewing water with it, just having some fun. Oh, gosh, what a great card. And you guys are gonna see this looks so good with the blue label. I had Wartortle. Just looking at my spreadsheet, guys. I had that at a 9. I had everything at a 9. So I had quad 9s. Boom, did even better. We got 3 9s and a 9.5. Just looks so good with that blue label. Oh, I'm so stoked about this, guys. Another 9 on the non-hollows. Fantastic. Again, the goal was to try to put together a 9 set for myself. Didn't think it would happen because I really thought that, you know, some of these cards might not be up to snuff, and I was pretty tough on my pre-grading. So after War Turtle, we got Primape. Primape, cool card. You remember the Venomoth was in there. Venomoth, obviously. The Primape I had at a 9. I thought the edges might get an 8.5. And actually, it was the surface that got an 8.5 on this one. So, you know, you can see like down here how there's that white chip. And again, don't know if that ends up being surface or corner. Corner's got a 9. Edges got a 9.5. So it makes me think that's part of surface. Because I don't think there were like a major back scratch on this or anything that I missed. So yeah, think it is that docks it there. So, but got the 9, great card. They're all great cards, guys. Let's be real. Next one is Lickitung. Good old Lickitung. So another common or non-hollow for you guys. Got the rat-ta-tat-ta-tat in the background. I had this guy I had him at a 8.5, largely because I thought the centering was going to be an 8. And we actually got the 9, but centering was the lowest for sure. But if I look at my pre-grades, I had surface and edges at 9.5, so surface was lower. Corners at a 9 came in higher, but I knew that centering, you know, with this left side being so thin, you can see how much this is off left to right, and then top to bottom as well. I mean, this is fairly off, guys. I would call this a lenient 9, a very lenient 9, but stoked to have this preserved and authenticated in this beautiful case. So fantastic. All right, guys, moment you've all been waiting for. We have 6 hollows from this set. We will go, I guess, in order of maybe popularity. I don't know. Probably in order of, you know, what most people like the most. I have personal favorites in this set. I think that, again, the Lapras common or non-hollow is one of my favorites. And then 2 or 3 of the hollows are just absolutely fantastic. But we'll start with Vileplume. So Vileplume I had at an 8. I thought that the centering was going to be an 8.5, and I thought that the corners were going to get an 8, largely because you can see down there that corner got chipped a little bit, and that's one of the ones I was really worried about. You can see on the front though, you know, that the surface looks pretty good, the edges look pretty good, but I really did think that that we were gonna have a problem with that corner, and it did come in at an 8.5. So I actually had it at an 8. Centering got the 9 despite being a little off right to left. I guess top to bottom's fine. Surface and corners definitely got dinged. So again, the surface on these non-hollow or these hollows, these reverse hollows, is just like super difficult. Like they can have scratches or surface obviously, but like micro scratches in there that really detract. But I think for this one, it is that might even, you know, that's part of corner, but that's also the surface there, right? There's almost like a chip in the surface. So say that might be a lenient 8.5, but we did get the 9.5 on the edges. It's sometimes hard to discern between edges and corners. There is some whitening up there, but hey, got the 8.5 on it. Great card. Fun little one. Again, instead of an additional Pokemon, they just threw 2 Vileplumes in there. I think that this green just really pops. You know, it's different than the way they did the reverse hollows in English. They have this kind of more matte finish rather than the swirl. You can see down there, there's a little, I think there's a little speck on the surface there. So again, surface at 8.5 makes sense. But really neat card. It's funny how that one's just looking right at you, so pretty cool. Next holo is the Ladybug, everyone's favorite Ladybug. So I also had this at an 8, largely because of centering and corners. This also has some corner issue down there as well. That was what happened when these came in top loaders, and I think they moved around a little bit in transit, which really irritated me, but I thought they were still pretty minty. Again, with that beautiful green color. And we got the 8.5, so better than expected again. I thought we would get an 8. So centering got the 9, which really pulled this one up because corners on this one got an 8. So with corners and surface getting in the 8s, we got lucky with that centering and that edge to bring that up and hold that 8.5 constant. You know, if that surface had gone down to an 8, we would have been in trouble here. But great card with that rainbow in the background, a little bit of Executor's head there, and what is that? Jigglypuff's ear, maybe? I forget. Look back. Yeah, Jigglypuff's ear. So, and yep, Executor, top of his head. So really neat. 8.5 and 7.8. Gotta love that for, you know, a vintage reverse holo and a top loader that just came from a random purchase. So next one is actually one of my favorites from this set. You guys know that I am a sucker for purple. And here's my boy, Slowking. I mean, guys, come on. With this artwork, the Bellsprout, well, maybe not Bellsprout, but the Psyduck, are you kidding me? I mean, it's just adorable. This Kimura artwork. Can't say enough about how much I love this card. I had our boy Slowking at an 8.5. I thought the centering was going to get an 8 and bring it down. And we got the 9, guys. We got a 9 on a vintage reverse holo. I mean, just unbelievable. That centering came up, you know, strong enough. You know, despite this right side being thick and this bottom being thick, it was enough to get the 9. You know, surface again at the 8.5, so really no favors on surface from CGC. You can take that one to the bank, which is crazy when you think about it because of how, like, the surface of this reverse holo, like, isn't scratched to all heck, but there are, you know, there's certainly back issues. There's, again, there's something in the corner there that, you know, it's hard to say if that ends up playing into surface. I think if we look closer, there might be a scratch. Yeah, there's, sometimes it's hard when they get back into the case to see if it's the case or the card, but I absolutely love this card. I'm so happy to have this. Gosh, I just love that little Psyduck. God, that's so cute. It's so awesome, guys. Oh, these psychic cards, the purple cards hit different. So a vintage 9 on a reverse holo. Look at that color. It's beautiful. Oh, then we got Pokeblue, or Peekablue. Jeez, getting tired here, guys. We're on almost an hour, but Peekablue, absolutely just adore this artwork as well. Look at the Marill with the Magikarp, one of my favorite Pokemon. I had this bad boy at an 8.5, largely because I thought that the centering was only going to get an 8. And we pulled another 9, guys. Look at that. Look at that. So almost quad 9, surface again taking us down. CGC just does not want to give up the ghost on surface. I do wonder if that has anything to do with the way that they use AI or computers in their grading. I'm surprised that this got a 9 on centering with this border being so thin on the left-hand side, but again, it's really that surface that really brought us down. So no love there, but you know, it's easy to see how there can be, especially on the back, guys, you can get lots of scratching on the back surface. I mean, and just the dimpling and stuff that happens. And again, you know, we can see like up there how the edge is chipped a little bit right here. There's two of them next to each other. Sometimes I think that might play into surface, not edge, because edge did get a 9. So at the end of the day, like, it really just rolls up. Like, if you didn't have these subgrades and you saw this objectively, you say, yeah, the centering's off, but it looks pretty beautiful. 9 sounds right. And hey, there it is. So another great card. I love Magikarp and Gyarados, so having Magikarp in there is just too cool with that Pika Blue. The Morel, the reverse holo with the 9. So 2 more guys. Thank you for sticking with me. This is an amazing experience for me, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. We have one of my favorites, as you can see from the background. I'm going to say Togepi. I should be saying Togepi, but oh gosh, he's one of the little cutest favorites. You got Ivysaur in here, you got Pikachu, you got Wartortle, and you have Togepi. Are you kidding me? I mean, just what an amazing card. I had this in 8. I thought that the centering was going to be a 9 and everything else was a wash at an 8. And we actually got the 8.5. So we were able to pull off much better subgrades than I expected. I do know the surface at an 8.5 is largely driven by this print line here. So you do see that coming down from the palm tree there, so I can understand why that surface got a 8.5. I had it at an 8, so must have done okay with the rest. Centering actually does look good on the front of this. I think I was, well, yeah, I gave it a 9 in my subgrade, so that makes sense. And I think I was a little harsh on the edge. You do see the back there. You know, it's surprising to see, you know, it get those subgrades with that back issue, but I think that plays into that 8.5 corner is really driven by the back. So example of a card that, you know, has a few flaws for sure and definitely does not deserve anywhere in that 9 and above range, but absolutely love this artwork. 4 amazing Pokemon in one. How can you go wrong? And last but not least, guys, you hung with me for almost an hour. I appreciate every single one of you. As always, I am Connor from Rock Pokemon. Collect what you love, guys. This is such a fun experience. I can't wait to do this coming week's Market Monday and talk to you guys a little bit more about the thought process and the economics behind this. But all in all, we saw that there were tons of low surface grades, but overall, I was, quite frankly, conservative on my pre-grading, and it paid off. I only had 2 out of these 35 cards come in below my pre-grading at a half point below each. You'll see that this final card is the crown jewel of the set. You got Mew with your little Charizard flying down here. Gotta love that. Little Pidgeot wing and a rainbow. And purple, and it just hits different. So I'm gonna leave you guys with this one. I really appreciate you guys watching along. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this reveal and learning a little bit about my pre-grading process. But Mew, I had in an 8. I told you we only got 2 below the grade, so boom, 8.5 on the Mew. Absolutely beautiful card. I had 8s on 3 of the subgrades, so was able to get a higher centering grade and a higher corners grade than I thought, and edges. So overall, just came in higher than expected. Really stoked on this, guys. I mean, just to be able to put together almost a complete 9 set of Southern Islands in Japanese is amazing. For 2 of the holos, the reverse holos, to come in at a 9 was just beyond my wildest expectations. And overall, to get nothing below an 8.5 across this entire submission of 35 cards, and even get some 9.5s that were close to that were even close to a pristine 10, I couldn't ask for more. So again, Jared at Cano Shark, thank you so much for all your help through this entire process. Guys, this is the first of what's going to be many videos to come of revealing my grades from CGC, BGS, and PSA. Shout out Kanto Shark for middlemanning me to all three over this past 8 to 12 months. Again, guys, I'm Connor with Rock Pokemon. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in for this week's Market Monday, where we talk about the economics behind grading. And as always, collect what you love. Like, comment, subscribe.